everybody. This is Bea Sedgwick from Spirit Moxie. And as some of you know, we're dealing with one hand, and it happens to be I'm dealing with my left hand. And yes, I am right-handed. So if we end up with any tech issues, we're going to do what I actually got to see some trapeze people on Saturday, which reminded me about this. That when something goes wrong and they just fall into the net, they go, ta-da! So if we have any ta-da moments, that's exactly where we'll be. But meanwhile, what I promised I was going to talk about today was opportunities and magic. And somehow having a purple cast doesn't seem like a great place necessarily for opportunities and magic. So let's play with this because while moments aren't always quite this dramatic, it is it's a real thing. One of the things I learned the last time and in other times is the whole importance of asking for help. And I didn't think I needed reassurance on all that one. But part of this also is I felt a little bit as if I was becoming invisible. As most of you know, I'm a writer. I write mainly unless I'm doing something like this. And I do most of it longhand, or I really type. Talking into a phone, which everybody suggests is not the answer. So I haven't been able to reflect and record and work actually the way I hoped I would. Partly this is all an excuse, and partly it's real. This time round, I'm exhausted a lot. So I've been taking naps or hanging out with people for a couple minutes and excusing myself and lying down and coming to an hour and a half later. And there's sort of a gift in that. That's sort of an opportunity. But where is the magic in this? I mean, the magic becomes in healing. It becomes in people actually doing all these wonderful things. But let's go through a little bit of a list, because one of these things is I realize that even though I'm feeling invisible, I'm still clearly seen. One of the cutest examples, I mean, I don't know if it was cute, but sort of this gammon looking street person said something to me as I was coming out of a grocery store, and I don't know what she asked for, but I said no, because I always do. And then she looked at me and said, "May I sign your cast?" No one's ever asked me if they could sign my cast before. And so I said, sure. And she went through 4 markers, and somebody else brought over another one. And she ended up doing a heart in purple and some first name that began with a T. And the cross is purple, and I didn't expect it to really show, but it actually has completely disappeared. But it really is there. The spirit of that heart and the T and all around there is just living in there as being seen. There have been other sort of outrageous pieces. And then little tiny things that remind me I'm still who I am. As some of you know, I have a thing with animals. At least one person who I know is listening to this knows that I get along with their cat, who doesn't get along with anybody. And I was at the county fair on Saturday. You're going to get the highlights of my weekend. And we finally found the animals, and there were mainly this huge barn of sheep, and we were going around, and this woman said, do you want to pet him? She had his back to me, and she was scratching his head, and I said, sure. So I reached in, and how do you pet a sheep? So, and it was especially with its back to you. So I scratched its ears like you do a dog, or like I do a dog, and then petted a little bit. And, we had a conversation, did its head, did more of the ears, stopped, got a little side piece of the thing. And so I petted a little bit more. And stopped and was talking to her, was getting ready to leave. And I looked down, and the sheep had completely turned around. I was looking at me, sort of saying, you're stopping? that was really good. Like, why are you stopping? And it was that kind of sort of connection that just sort of reminded me that I'm still me. And for me, that kind of thing does often feel like magic. Um, Another piece was there was a Pride Festival here on Sunday, and some friends were performing a piano and singing and doing the thing in the festival, and so I went to support them. But the coolest part was, and this is something I haven't seen for a long time, and again was remembering who I am. It was both the opportunity of being there and the magic of seeing. They were signing it. They were doing ASL, one person for each of them. They were doing it as a duo, so they were doing a duet, and I was mesmerized. It was just awesome because of this, and because like I seem to do things like set on out smoke alarms when I try to cook right this second. I have given myself permission for a really outrageous eating out allowance, which is getting me around other people. But it's not just this, and it's not just sick. I was going to tell stories about a week I had in the hospital a lot of years ago, and where all of a sudden I let it be about me, and where the cleaning lady said, "Well, and then we'll see you next time." And I'm thinking, like, I hope there's not a next time. But the other piece of this, a part of the magic and the pieces of this is whatever the moment is. There was a message I got right before we started from someone who's often here who let me know she wasn't coming. And that was pure opportunity and gift, because part of it is the group of us here. All of you, whether you're listening to this later or you're listening to this now, you are the opportunity, and our relationship often has magic in it. And I'd like you to, and what I mean by magic, we'll talk about some other, but so claim that and spend some time like looking what are the opportunities right where you are right this second, and how is the magic showing up? And that's my challenge to you.